Covenant House Houston has a long history of treating transgender youth quite poorly. And what I have for you today is a bit of a testimonial from a young trans person who was a client of Covenant House. She's young and she's had a tough history. She's been a victim of hate crimes. She's been beaten. She's been kicked. She was run over for being trans. And whenever she went to Covenant House seeking help, what was awaiting her was, they took her in, which was nice, and then they housed her with the men and refused to refer to her by the name everyone knows her by. Instead, they used her birth name, her male name, and insisted on using male pronouns, which the other folks, the guys who were also staying at Covenant House, immediately picked up on that and began to torment her and make her life hell. Now remember, this is someone who had just been beaten and kicked and run over because they were trans. And they come to Covenant House looking for help, and they're put in the middle of all these men who begin using the same kind of language that led to her assault. They start calling her punk and a faggot, and staff refused to intervene at all. And so ultimately what happened is she became so scared of being in the Covenant House shelter that she left, and she now sleeps on the streets, literally on the concrete, because she's too afraid of, what might happen to her if she were to stay at Covenant House. Fortunately, she's here at the Trans Center right now, and we are helping her with her housing issue. And, within the next couple of weeks, she'll have her own place. It's important that stories like hers are brought out into the public. People need to know what's going on. So, without further ado, here she is in her own words.
I've been assaulted before, and it wasn't a pretty good sight. I got beat on, stumped, got ran over. I used to be in the Covenant House. Yes, I had people talk about me, calls me names. Yeah, they'll call me names like, "Oh, that's a punk. Oh, she ain't nothing but a fag. He ain't nothing but a fag. He's this, he's that." Yeah. "Oh, that's a man. That's a punk. Man, he a punk. He a fag." Basically the same things that I've been through in my childhood. It's the same things I was going through at the Covenant House. I left the Covenant House because I couldn't take it no more.
And so you left because you felt like, it happened once. People acted this way to you before, and, you wound up, having your life threatening. So you left before it could come to that. Okay. And the counselors, the people there, did they refer to you as she and her, or he and him?
They would refer me as he.
So the staff would call you he and him?
Call me by my first name.
By your first name, your legal first name. So they would, in front of these people who would torment you, they would call you he and him and refer to you as your first name. Did you ever ask them, you know, well, the name that I go by is this, and they refuse to do that for you?
Yeah, they'll call me by my state name. Basically, yes, I did have to leave because I couldn't take it. And it was either me staying there, getting mistreated, calling names, or either getting into a fight. So I left and been staying by the church ever since. Literally at night, I am sleeping on concrete.